We're here at Chateau de Õigus, here outside of Viljandi.
What's up?
The cooking video, I gotta ask, the cooking video has been doing well. Have you thought that once the lockdown's over, maybe you should pursue stand-up comedy? You know, you've got enough fame out of the cooking thing that maybe you can become a comedian.
Yeah, I've thought of it, because that's how comedy works. You get famous from something else, and then you translate some jokes from like an English thing, and then you call it stand-up. So yeah, that's the plan.
Louis C.K. has a new special out. There's something special to translate.
Yeah, because you gotta buy it, and most people won't buy it, so they don't have the jokes, and I will have the jokes. So yeah, pretty much when the lockdown is over, like I'm gonna hit Vene Kultuuriges, because as it's over, with my new stand-up show.
No. You've been doing, that's 1 hour of cooking show per day. No, sorry, one per day. Sorry, not 1 hour of cooking show per day.
Yeah.
But one cooking show per day. Does it go on forever? How long do you keep making a cooking show for?
I don't know. As long as I always get there's no word for viitsi in English. It's the closest is can't be bothered. As long as I'm bothered to, then let's say, because it kind of started as a way to kill time and kill the sort of anxiousness of my tour not happening. And then we kind of kept on doing it because it's fun, and it's something like I'm trying to learn video editing and whatever. But yeah, because we've been doing one a day for, I have no idea, 20 something days now. And that will stop really soon, because we said we were gonna do 7 straight and then stop. Then we said, okay, let's do 10, then okay, let's do 20, and now it's okay, let's do 30, let's do a full month, and then maybe cut it down to every other day or something. But yeah, because that's the fun part of it. There's no like editors, there's no producers, there's no commitments, there's no nothings. It's just me and Helika and our camera and our kitchen. So I can do whatever. I can make it into an hour-long thing. I can make it into a live thing. I can just stop.
I really, really want a live thing. Like long and it's like slow and it's not like a regular episode.
Yeah, people want to see it. And I can do it with some foods. Like I have to kind of think it through, where it's, let's say, an hour of steadily doing something. But most things, like I've started to doing a lot of baking, which I've never done, but it's fucking amazing. Because I eat a lot of this when we're on the road. Like most of my food is this all kinds of little, bread, like the cheese rolls and
pastries and stuff.
Pastries, the word exactly. And like I miss them, so I figured out, hey, I've got to make them now. But like a lot of them, it's let's say I do something for 15 minutes, and now let's set it down for 6 minutes, 6 hours, and then what am I gonna do with that 6 hours? So for the live, I have to really pick the things, but since it's like actual live fire, and yeah, it's really uneventful, because what happens before we tape is like 2 minutes of me standing next to the frying pan with my hand there, waiting for the perfect heat to then say, okay, let's roll. And then we go, and I do my best to show every bit of what I have to do, but to cut there's a lot of repetitive stuff. Okay, like let's peel a potato, here's one, but I'm gonna do 30 of them. Why the fuck would we show all 30? And that's with the live. And I know, like, some people say, but yeah, like pre-cut and whatever the ingredients. But like that's what I hate about cooking show. And still calling this a cooking show is kind of because I don't have any claims of I can do anything. And like I keep on repeating, it's just my opinion. It's just how I like to do things. There's no right or wrong. Sure. Like there's few rights and wrongs for sure in food, which you shouldn't you shouldn't eat raw chicken. There's no, but I like my chicken pink. No, you like your fucking salmonella pink. That's it, right? But like a lot of it is like, as everything, people trying to sell opinions as facts, right?
Sure.
So that's what I try to kind of convey. But anyway, what I really hate about a lot of cooking shows is the pre-cut thing. Is like, you know, someone who shall not be mentioned, 15-minute meals, and it's 15 minutes with a pro chef on a really good gas stove with everything, like an hour of prep done before in little bowls, and then people are fucking frustrated at home. I can't do it in 50. What's wrong with me? So like, I like the sort of honesty of it, but then again, it's really important, and because like, it's rather, I think my show is for people who really can't cook, not at all. And like, I think the little bits of like how the onion is cut, like how I get to that specific shape, I think that's kind of an important detail of the whole thing. So you would get to because if I don't show you how I get it, then our starting point is different, because my bowl of onions is totally different than the one that you kind of smashed up with a fork. Yeah, exactly.
I think that, okay, going back to what you were saying about, could I do a live stream and how would that be? And there's an hour and there's this downtime. I don't think the answer is to like, I agree with you that the answer is not to have everything pre-rolled beforehand. Absolutely. I think the answer lies in readjusting our ideas of what a live stream is. Yeah. So we're very used to, as comedians, we're on the stage, go, do. And we're used to that. And even, I mean, I really discovered that doing with Silla, that I'm getting better already.
I'm just working the camera.
Yeah, always. At understanding, like, it doesn't have to. First time I did it, I was like talk for an hour and a half, and then I just spent all weekend watching Twitch and just watching. Okay, fair enough, it was a hot chick, but still, she's just making dinner. Someone's just sitting in their lounge room. Is a different expectation, and I think it's on us to reprogram ourselves to go like, people are not watching this with the same mindset that they watch a 10-minute stand-up clip. They don't, like, yeah, there might be some downtime. Yeah, for like a couple of minutes, you might leave. You got to go to the toilet. It's like, there might be nothing happening on camera for 2 minutes. I think that it's okay. And I think it might be in our minds that and I'm trying to really just push that out of my system when I do lives. Chill, don't worry about it. People are still there. They have different expectations.
Yeah.
Like, it'll be all right. Do an hour. Do some minutes. Maybe you talk for a little bit. Maybe you talk to the camera a little bit. Maybe it is slow. Maybe it's genuinely just slow. And that's okay. Yeah, true. And I kind of have an idea anyway for my thing, like how I'm gonna do it. And the idea is, so I'm gonna do, let's say a burger, let's say like a really good homemade burger. So I'm gonna pre-do, let's say, a week of episodes, maybe, and there's no promises, but a week of episodes, like, let's make the bun, let's make the sauce, let's make the onions, let's make the patty, and then let's say on Saturday we go live to, okay, we have all these things, the grill is going, let's make a burger, and it's like a really nice sort of thing. And that's one idea of how it would be sort of, I can actually do it in a way that if you want to, you can sort of cook along. So, because that's the idea of the live cooking thing, right? It's the cook along. Okay. So if I do it like the weekly episodes, and at everyone, let's say okay, it's Saturday at that clock, let's meet with our grills or pans fucking hot, and then still give it some time, then a couple of people might actually be able to do the actual live cook along, which would be pretty that would
cool.
be amazing. And that is something, like, no doubt maybe there's somebody already doing that out there in the world, but no one's doing that in Estonia right now. In Estonian for Estonian people, a live cook along. Holy shit!
Yeah, but I mean, I'm waiting on. I'm not gonna name the companies who are building the network here. I don't have proper, because I can't do live from my phone hotspot properly.
Yeah, it's dicey. We're doing it from my phone, but that's in the middle of Tallinn. I don't know if it makes a difference out here. But even then, I've had to, on the first live stream, my phone overheated.
Yeah,
and then there was some other things. Like, it's not quite as flexible.
Exactly. I have like a €150 phone, so I wouldn't like, because when we did the thing with the dudes, and we had a really big storm on the Külapood live day, so we had like 3 blackouts before the live started. And also, the phone, like, it always gets super, super, super hot and stuff. But like in a week, I should have like actual, whatever the word is,
some high-speed internet cable.
The valguskabel, the light cable, whatever.
The fiber optic.
Fiber optic, exactly. I'm gonna have that thing. I know the word freight train.
Good, look at you knowing words and shit. Freight train. Why did we get to freight train?
It's a bit I had at some point where when people start shitting on my English, like, it's a random word, but like if I would call it cargo train, you would know, like, I'm making up my English, like putting together words in it. But I know it's a freight train.
I used freight train wrong the other day in the episode when I had Dagmar Lamp on, and she has the bandana over her house, and I went, oh, you look like you're about to stick up a freight train. But freight train implies like modern industry, and I couldn't think of what the Wild West, like cowboys and Indians style train was. I guess steam engine or something. Like, that's where the cowboy would have that over his mouth, and this is a stick up.
Nice horse riding.
Thank you. This is.
No, you gotta be physical with your. But yeah, we were talking about some. Oh yeah, the live things. Yeah. When I have the proper internet, then it's actually possible. But my genius freight train segue. That's what happened. But when I have proper internet here, then I can kind of think about it, and I have to figure out how to make it through our like actual camera, not the phone, ideally.
Yeah, okay.
And then we can. Because I know the camera actually has a YouTube, like an app on it.
I think that's not going to go well. So what we're hoping, here's what. It's back ordered from Amazon thanks to Big Daddy Tim and his endless supply of Amazon goodness.
Yeah.
But there's an adapter that should be USB on one end, HDMI on the other.
Yeah.
On the other end.
Yeah.
And so then you just go computer out from the camera.
Camera has an HDMI
right.
hole, yeah.
And then it just works like the computer sees it as or thinks it's a webcam. It goes, 1080p webcam. Then that's what I need. Turns out though, this is all sold out on Amazon, of course, right now. So maybe mid-April we're gonna get it.
Okay.
This is what I want to use as well with me and Scylla instead of my phone.
Okay, so that's when something live might happen. But then again, whenever the government says go do comedy, then there's probably not gonna be a cooking show episode for a couple of weeks, because I'm gonna spend every night in some place yelling at people.
Bro, every night we can do shows. As soon as they say yes, we'll be like, Botdik tonight, Outskirts tonight.
Yeah.
Hey, do you want some people to come? We're gonna be on. I think everyone's gonna want to do shows every night of the week. Fuck yeah.
Oh yeah, that's the kind of, I mean, there's obviously the global pandemic, the death virus and everything going on. And I mean, we've been sitting at home. You're the first guest we've had pretty much for 3 weeks. Mm-hmm. And I'm even you just letting into my sauna. So yeah, that's the one part of it. But I like to try to think about the funny bits of it. And when Estonians are let back out again, and it's kind of, let's say, May-ish, whatever, it's gonna be for a couple of nights. It's gonna be fucking insane. Like, I just wanna go out to like Tartu, whatever city, not even drinking, just see the people, just see what kind of crazy New Year's riot whatever type party is gonna and I'm guessing, like, because we're gonna have a new holiday, we're gonna have like this is gonna be a good bit, because I can't, like, whenever it ends I can't do my old hour. Obviously can't do my old hour, like just go on and hey,
right,
you know, like I gotta
we've got to reference it. We've got to talk about the shared fucking trauma we just had.
Yeah. But my idea is like maybe like 20 minutes of whatever happened, and then let's take 20 minutes out of my hour and do the rest of it. Because like my Edgar Savisaar bit is still gonna work. It's fucking great bit, you motherfucker. But anyway, this is a really good bit. I think that Estonians are, we're gonna have a new holiday. We're gonna call it like fuck it. And it's just whenever this ends, hopefully 1st of May, it's a free day in the calendar anyway. And it's gonna be the craziest thing. Like every year after that, everyone's gonna gather, spread virus. It's gonna be fucking amazing.
Have you been, I mean, I know your writing process is pretty unique, and you know, it's not formal, not extremely formal as your writing process, but would you say you have been writing in this time?
No.
Because a lot of comedians that I speak to, because I speak to so many, are like not writing. And I actually don't mind it. I think it's not a bad thing. It's like, just let it sink in.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, sure. I mean, it might be cool. And don't get me wrong, because like I'm all about work, do, produce content, make something. Don't sit around in your fucking ass doing nothing. But on the other hand, I don't think it's bad to not necessarily be writing bits. Like, it's almost like this needs to play out. Because where we are now is really different to 4 weeks ago. So 4 more weeks could be... you can't... You know what I mean? Like, just let the ideas brew. Think of some jokes. Think of it, but don't put it solid yet.
That's the... there's a couple of things. First of all, if anyone's watching the actual video, I know I have a scarf on. I have a thing fucked up in my neck and I can't move my head, and that's why it's not like I'm sitting at home being hipster. But... that's one thing, is like I have no idea what's going on. It's still kind of fresh, and it's still, to me honestly, because of where I live, the only thing is like there's, for some reason, there's no comedy shows, but everything else is pretty much the same. We go to the shops once a week, buy a shitload of food, come home, cook, watch stuff, work around the house. I don't know, I trimmed my apple trees the other day, for example. I gotta build a new shed. There's all kinds of shit I gotta do, and so it's pretty much the same, and it still hasn't really struck in the actual like what's actually going on. And I think as a comedian, to do, like, you have to have, first of all, you have to know what you think, but also you have to be aware of what the crowd thinks. Like, we had a thing with Dan or someone, where we had a bit about some Estonian rapper, where like it's someone who we in our group, like some lyrics they've kind of have stuck around, and it's like become a punchline, some really dumb lyrics. And the joke, so he tried to make it about that rapper, but people really liked him, and the joke, it doesn't
almost
work.
Like an in-joke that other people don't get.
Yeah, exactly. And I said, like, think about the, like, you need a musician here. Think about the public, whatever. Put someone who the crowd would agree is kind of laughable. We had a thing, the idea was Sünne Valtri, and then the joke worked. And that's kind of what I'm trying, you have to be aware of what the public thinks, to be able to play around it and whatever. And that's what I also like feel about the letting it set in, is to be able to joke about it. I have to know what people think, because I want them to like the joke. Because a lot of the jokes, like, I have a lot of opinions, but then again, as a comedian, you don't give a shit. Like, we can argue both sides. I'm gonna argue the popular side. If I want to sell tickets, I'm going to argue the fucking popular side. And at the moment, I don't know what the popular side is.
And I think we don't know yet what is the effect on other people. We heard about some company, some people are being laid off. No one's got the money right now. Like, I'm not saying, we're just sitting. We're all right. You know, we're not going to die. We've got food to eat. So it's not really like, a terrible, horrible thing. Yeah. We know that as soon as it's over, we're going to do some comedy shows. Yeah. But I don't think we truly appreciate how it's affecting. We're like, making jokes. And people are like, dude, I just lost my house.
Because the thing is, we're kind of good at what we do, and since it's a really unreliable market anyway, you gotta work in a sense that you are prepared for a couple of months.
Right, we're already used to that.
Yeah, and for now it hasn't really happened for us, but we've always been kind of ready for, okay, what if we don't sell these tickets? What if we don't get some calls? You can't do entertainment if you're gonna die tomorrow. Then it's really hard. It's really, really fucking hard. But there is a lot of companies in entertainment, but outside of it for sure, that live kind of week to week. They need that weekly money to come in to pay those people to get that work too. And like my brother said, like the whole system is built on people hustling. A lot of people hustling because a lot of connections have to be made, and yeah, that's obviously a lot of people are hurting really, really bad. But yeah, that's kind of the philosophical side of it, I think, because obviously like the money is not going anywhere. It's kind of the whatever law of energy. Like energy is not created; it exists. It's just kind of converted.
Something like that. Yeah.
And like obviously, a lot of people are losing money, and a lot of people are gaining a lot of fucking money. And if you have the money to live this out, and you have money after that to fucking start buying the factories and shit out of work, then obviously a lot of rich people are gonna get a lot richer. But anyway, yeah, we still have no idea what the actual fuck is going on, and yeah, like you said, how this is affecting. Like I have this pretty light side of it, and at the moment my jokes would be kind of the holiday bit was the first like genuinely good idea I've had about the thing, which is this is gonna work after. Like let's see how it goes. It might be a sad holiday, but it's gonna be drinking either way. It's gonna be happy drinking or sad drinking, but it's gonna be a fucking holiday. We have no idea, and my perception at the moment is kind of, we're not working, but the sun is out, I'm in the countryside, I'm cooking, we're having fun. But yeah, I'm guessing that wouldn't really fly over in a comedy setting, because I'm guessing some people are feeling it more, and I think it should be a bit more layered than, hey, this was a fun fucking holiday.
We can keep doing what it is we like to do. Okay, videos and shit and making people laugh. We can still kind of do that with our live streams, but you don't, somewhat. But you don't have 2 children at home trapped in a small apartment. You have a reasonable relationship with your partner, and you're not, all things considered, not at each other's throats.
Oh yeah,
there's got to be a bunch of people like that.
Oh yeah, I said in the live thing as well. Like it's a joke running around that a lot of like this is a good relationship test. People are either gonna get married or broken up after this. But I would anyway say that I think this is. I'm super happy that I'm not alone. It's I would fucking kill myself. I get people dying for the social thing, because if it's the 2 of us, it's kind of nice in a romantic way. It really is, because we don't have to go anywhere. Let's just watch the Hangover series from the bed today, and then go back to sleep, and that's our fucking day. And I kind of maybe left out some things, because maybe this is maybe some children watch your program as well. But that's kind of why I'm saying I can't work now. I can't do shows. But in every other aspect, it's kind of a nice vacation. We just got our new house. We're building shit. We're fucking having fun. It's really nice, and I kind of feel for the people who are, if let's say you're alone, you're in a not that nice of an apartment, and
if your life wasn't that great. Like, we're working hard and we're hustling, but I kind of feel like our lives are all right. Like,
I enjoyed my free time thoroughly before this, which means this is fucking great.
If you didn't enjoy your life or didn't enjoy your free time,
then it's fucking hard.
I'm all right. I don't mind spending time on my own. Like, I did that 3 weeks in Japan on my own. I need that time. It's like Scylla and I were talking about people that are meeting on Tinder and then going on Skype dates. I was like, okay, cool, I guess. Seems to defeat the purpose of it, but all right.
Yeah.
That if people don't have a partner or don't have a way to get out. And for me as well, also, I'm different because, I mean, if I'm doing 3 to 4 podcasts a week, I'm actually meeting people like, oh, I haven't met anybody in 2 weeks. I'm like, oh, okay, I had 5 2-hour-long conversations this week. Actually, I'm not really socially isolated very much at all.
Yeah, but you feel it in like shopkeepers and people. Like when I go, like for me, it's pretty much the regular. I go to the store and I buy the same kind of weekly things. I buy maybe a bit more now because of the cooking show, because we do kind of, let's say, different things. I would, like, a lot of my meals would be just bread and cheese, or just like potatoes and something, because I'm fucking lazy. But because of the thing, like, I have to make something every day. But yeah, well, just like, let's say, people with kids, like I know some people, like some friends with kids, and they're having the greatest fucking time. They actually have the time to spend with their kids. They're making food, they're learning, it's great. But then again, yeah, if you're like, you didn't really, it was just dad drinking and don't disturb me watching TV, and you're just there on the fucking couch and you're not allowed to go to the supermarket, then it's because like, getting back what we started from is like, we have no idea what this is doing to people. I'm on the side of it at the moment where it hasn't hit anyone in my family. I haven't heard of anyone I know being hit by it, and a lot of people I know, like people are getting pay deductions, whatever. But
they're still getting some money.
And
70%.
To be honest, as it turns out, a lot of my friends, I mean, apart from comedians, but like my actual, like, we all have our group of actual friends outside from the thing. Like, they're fucking grown-ups. Like, everyone's sort of, like, a couple of people have actually come to me like, hey, like, I know, like, this might be hitting you real bad because I know your tour got cancelled, and like, I got shitloads saved up if you need some help, and that. Like, I know there's people who are like hurting really bad, but then again, kind of how Estonians, like my parents, how they live in the countryside, I think they would have been able to go a month without noticing. If this was the summer and they were both on like holiday at the same time, then they wouldn't have noticed for a month, because they don't leave their home at the countryside. They grow a lot of their own food. They buy shit, like they go to the really big store like every kind of 2 months, maybe, buy the flour, whatever. They just do fucking everything. Like you live in the countryside, and there's a lot of people in Estonia who live like that. And for them, this is... Is
this Estonia's great advantage in this whole situation?
We've like, fucking been here.
I mean, if you're not living in the countryside, mum and dad are, you've got some relative or something who is living in the countryside who remembers, okay, Grandma, Vana, Emma, tell me about the old days. How did you make it through?
Yeah. Though, don't visit your grandma. Don't.
Oh, yeah, right, of course.
I think.
I was like, what are you doing, you insensitive prick? I'm like, oh, Corona, right.
Yeah. Call her daily, but don't. But yeah, people, because like this sort of it's all summer homes. From the 10 houses here, I think 3, me and other 2, like, actually live here, and 7 are summer homes. And it's early April, and all the houses are full. Yeah, okay, they can just come. Everyone's in there. If you have a summer home, people are in there. Why would you? Yeah, okay, why would you be in the Though city? A lot of people have their summer homes in Saaremaa, and they... Yeah, okay, that's fucked. Yeah, but that's the funny thing. Like, I try to... I do my best, and I haven't really felt like... like, the people who get personally angry at this, like, fuck you. Like really, really fuck. Like, okay, if it... really killed everyone in your family and somehow you lost everything, and there's one, let's agree, the one person who gets hit the fucking worst by it, he or she is allowed to complain personally, and everyone else agrees this happened to fucking all of us.
Yeah, right, yes.
Like, this is not just you can. I can't go to work. Yeah, me neither.
No one can.
Like, to say we had fucking 6,000-7,000 tickets sold for the fucking spring, and I would really love to get personally offended, but I mean, let's all agree this is
I draw such comfort from the idea it's happening to all of us.
Yeah.
And that was I realized last week I was talking on all my podcasts, spouting off how like I feel calm and I feel good about all of this, and it took me a while to work through, well, what is the bit of this though that makes me anxious?
Yeah.
Because there can always be some element, and you can deal with that anxiety, and you can feel it but then put it away. And the only scenario I could think of that would make me nervous was that I noticed that ECRA is tightening the screws on foreigners, and they're using this as their excuse.
I saw, if you don't have a job,
You're
then
out already.
So
now, I'm
you're
legal.
cool, right?
I'm good. I'm paying myself. I employ 8 people. They
want to keep you here.
I have to be in the country to do this job, because I've heard of some foreigners, they're like, some guy runs servers or something. Well, he doesn't have to be in the country, so they don't give him a visa. So I've got 10-year history. I've got all the things, but nevertheless, anxiety is irrational. And so that is when I started to think, like, I'll do anything as long as we're all in it together.
Yeah.
I don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
But when it's like, oh, Lewis individually has to leave, that kept me up one night.
Oh yeah, for sure. And and I mean, everyone obviously has them when you're reading about who and how gets the government whatever help.
Yeah, okay. Maybe I won't get the money.
Then if you but why us? But then again, if you have been scheming with your taxes, this is what you get. Because there's a lot of they decided the companies who have just one person, no salaries, a lot of money coming in, and just dividends going out, then they're not getting
you don't get nothing.
Which is kind of fair, because these are not the dudes who need help.
No, exactly.
The dudes who have their things in 7, you're not watching this, but you know the people I'm fucking talking about. We don't have to name them. They don't need the government help. They don't need to find a way to fucking get more money out of this. I'm happy the government is trying to do a lot of due diligence.
Due diligence.
Yes, to freight train to actually get the money to the people who are, because there are a lot of small businesses who are fucking hurting a lot, and there's a lot of people who are doing a lot to help their employees. There's some layoffs, but a lot of people have kind of pulled together, okay, let's cut your salary, let's keep everyone on, let's what's fucking reasonable. And I really hope the government finds those people and kind of
I think you gotta, because it ends in 6 weeks. What are you gonna do then, smart guy? You then gotta start re-employing people. I mean, fair enough, if your business tanks, your business tanks. Maybe it just tanks.
I mean, you could super easily give the bailout to the big guys and have a really fucking monopolized country like that.
Well, it's probably going to happen in America. I mean, a big country. I mean, Tallink might, just because they employ so many people, but I don't think it's really going to tip.
Oh yeah, they had a lot of but that's another thing. I get why they have to lay people off, because that's not okay. We have 8 people on the fucking sort of decreased thing. Let's try to hold on. They have thousands and thousands of fucking people on really high salaries. If
they tank, that's thousands of people out of a job.
Yeah. And I mean, you obviously someone's gotta take the hard. Okay, let's keep 70% of the people to give us a fucking year. And as I understand, a lot of companies, I mean, in the bigger scale, I'm happy about humanity so far. We haven't gone looting.
Yes,
we've all kind of tried to come together in a sense. Everyone's doing their whatever little thing I'm doing.
I think in Estonian humanity, I think what might be happening in the West might be something completely different.
Yeah. But I mean, this is what I see, right? I might not be going anywhere Western.
Sure, might not. We can't go anywhere
in a long time, because I mean, this, like someone asked, we lost a lot of like, what's the freedoms we're gonna lose now? Think about flying before 9/11, and you remember
it's easy. Walk on.
Like, you walked on with your drink from the terminal, sat down, had your beer, and no one gave a fuck about anything. So yeah, that's the because I mean, I'm anyway kind of into, like, I'm into conspiracy theories in a sense that they really what's the word? Like, I like good fiction.
Okay.
I like good sci-fi. I like proper sci-fi, and what I love about them is they do their best to plug all the holes. Like, I hate sci-fi where I can easily, like, my brain is going, no, it's so fucking, like, you haven't given me any proof to think why this would actually happen.
Okay.
And what is conspiracy theories? Like, gathering together all types of things to make one argument to look really good.
Yeah.
So in that sense, that's really good sci-fi, and I like conspiracy theories. And I mean, some of it is kind of true. Like, I don't think there's like people who turn into lizards and shit, but there's obviously people who fucking own this world.
I think with sci-fi that you can make up anything. Oh, we've got the new techno gadget, the warp drive, the whatever in space, right? But sci-fi falls down when the human bits don't add up.
Yeah.
Like, we're 500 years in the future, but when humans don't act like humans.
Yeah, or they do something like you didn't, like, they act so inhumane, and you didn't give me the reason for that. I want the
reason,
yeah, because I'm not super into sci-fi, because I hate lazy writing anyway, and I think sci-fi is the fucking hardest, because you making up the whole world and making it actually work. Like, making it actually work, not like, oh, there's a lot of fun things I drew together and don't really look into it.
Yeah.
Like, that's why I really love them. I don't know, Lord of the Rings, even though I know it's not sci-fi, but like the level of building my world, I'm gonna make up a fucking language now.
Yeah.
I'm gonna draw all the maps. Here's the books, and then here's a lot of books explaining the world around it, and like that's what I like. But why I was talking about conspiracy theories is I know it sounds like a conspiracy theory for some people, but there's no doubt in some people are gonna use what's going on for evil.
Sure.
It's self-gain, it's probably money, but for other people it comes out as, because like you said, the accurate thing, this is the time for everyone to obviously watch out. This is not a conspiracy theory. It's a reasonable thing to assume that the government might use this time to push through shitty things.
All kinds of governments, yeah.
Yeah, obviously, all kinds of companies, whatever. This is the time to fucking, shove shit. So yeah, I don't really want to go that deep into it, but I think this is it's not unreasonable to think, to, like, for you gotta be aware of, like, there's fucking Nazis in the government.
Sure, I gotta be more precise, basically. Yeah, I gotta be more precise and make sure they've got nothing on me. At least they can get me at that level. Yeah. A little bit like, there's a few things, like if you looked into the technicalities, it'd be like, So I'm trying to make sure everything's rectified. I saw this
meme of someone saying, "This is the world saying never vote conservative." And I was like, yeah, maybe. I'm gonna go back now, like half an hour or something, because I've been
missed the callback.
Yeah, no, I've been, because it's still on my mind, because I don't want to forget it, but it's fucking bothering me now. When we talked about writing, I'm going back a lot.
Okay.
And I said I'm not writing. And why? There's another why. I said there's 3 bits, I got to 2. Is because I think for me, and it's just been fucking bothering me. I think like for me, I'm the type of comedian who I realized I can't really write stuff. Like, I can make stuff up, but it's not as funny as the stuff that actually happens, or like the actual genuine idea, like the actual first thought in a crisis idea. On like, you know how the writing on stage works. Like, I have a premise, and then I take it to the stage, and then with all the adrenaline and whatever the fuck kicking in, that's where I actually write the bit, because I'm never gonna be as funny in my living room as I am on the stage with 100 people looking at me and, okay, where's the funny now? Yeah. That's where my brain gives me fucking everything it has. And so the like, there's, I think, 3 parts to writing for me. Is actually like living life, meeting people, like getting ideas, seeing shit, seeing someone on the train doing something and going, oh, that would be so funny. And the way he picked it up would be so funny in my dude in the warehouse picking, like these random connections you make. Like those are missing. Then the actual stage timing is missing. And I agree, like there's a writing bit to comedy where I take my things and I like properly look through them, make them like clean.
Some editing bit.
Yeah, editing. I don't know, maybe research my references to like have the proper, like I find it funny when a comedian is right in a way, like when you casually when you talk about something, you're also like, oh,
what was that?
It's his fucking basso.
Next door neighbor, right. Did the light dim for a second there?
The light did dim for a second. That means something fuck is going on. He might be using my power. But no, what I think he's actually done, I think from the Russian, like he has, because we both have 2 lines coming into our house, like the I can't say these things in English.
Positive and negative, like
positive
no.
Like let's say the stronger one and the
okay.
Because I have like it's called the fuck it's called the I'm gonna come the where do you make things manufacturing
factory?
Yeah and
the
it's
power
like,
plant.
No,
substation.
We got to the factory was the word, and now it's a word kind of like that. Oh, it's the greatest game of alias ever. If you have a machine that's in a factory, then it's not a home appliance. It's a
industrial appliance.
Industrial.
Yes.
And we have like the industrial power cable and then the other power cable. But people like to, because the industrial power, it's not still that powerful for like really big saws like he's apparently using. And then they kind of illegally plug into the actual main, so he doesn't take what's allotted to him. Like he just takes straight from the thingy. Because we have a lot of things around here that people built around the Soviet times, and then the Estonian, because the vallavalitsus, whatever, local government people, they're super fucking lazy, overpaid, and there's way too many of them. We have 180,000 government employees. Take out, police, firemen, teachers, you're left with approximately 100,000. It takes 100,000 people to run this country.
I don't think so.
No.
You've got all these not provinces, areas like Haruman and all those.
And buying this house,
you
like,
don't need them.
I met with a lot of them, like talked to them, and they're all super incompetent and super shitty. And what's going on here is they think we all have a well, like at our own land. Okay. Actually, we have a proper like water system. Every 10 houses, there's a proper like 40-meter well, and then there's a water system for those 10 houses. Like I don't have a well, I have an actual, like in the city, a thing coming into pipe coming into my house. The local government has no idea of it. I told them, and it's their job to come here and look it all up, register it, and then take over maintenance of it. and start charging us for the water, which I wouldn't give a shit about because water is cheap. Now we don't pay anything. And it's kind of illegal, but I'm talking about it, and it would be in my hour as well.
We told them, yeah.
Because I want them to come down here. Yeah. I want them to make angry because I did everything here. I'm super legal. I did everything legally. I dug out the thing I wasn't supposed to do. I did everything legally, and I want them to come down because at the moment, if everything breaks, anything, it's up to me, but it should be up to them. But they're kind of not acknowledging the fact because they're so super fucking lazy, because it would be a lot of work for them to come down here and map it all out, how it's built, how it's working, put the things on to make the water tests. It's a lot of money for them, and they're just fucking ignoring me, and there's 100,000 of them out there. Yeah, at some point I'm gonna go political, and this is gonna be my thing.
I'm standing on wells and water pipes. This is my platform.
No, not even that specifically, but half. We need fucking half of them. That like go find an actual job, be useful, do something, learn to weld or something. I don't know, because it's so dumb. How many of them are there? And I'm just ranting now. I have no idea whether it was the government employees.
Oh, we were talking about government employees. The power before the power went out, the power went down.
Oh yeah. It's we had the power thingy, and it's because he's done something illegal.
Right.
And it's another thing that the government should be aware of. They should check these things out, but because we're kind of this remote bit of a little village, then they don't just give a
Your
shit.
mic has kind of fallen down the scarf a little bit.
My mic is falling down.
It's migrating south.
Okay. I'm gonna find it a new place.
There we go.
Yeah.
Actually, that might be worse because now it's hiding behind. Oh, I'm so picky about these things.
It will be cool. I will get it. Is this better?
Fuck it, that'll do. Yeah, who cares?
Check. I'm showing up on the thing.
Yeah, you still max out when you do the
check
48. Fuck, what were we talking about before that? I forget. For the power thing.
Comedy, writing.
Government is going to take us all down. I should be worried about the foreigners. I don't know. I'll be alright.
Yeah, no, I came back to my writing bit that you have to.
Oh, writing.
Have to live life to.
I feel that too. Like, I'm never writing anything sitting in my lounge. I have to go out and have experiences and talk to people and do stuff.
Yeah. Someone has to say something. Something has to happen too, because that's way funnier than the shit. And also, like, I fucking hate made up stories. Like the dumbest question for me is when people ask about a story, like, did that actually happen? Like, yes, that's why I'm telling it. If it didn't happen, then what the fuck is this? This is not a, like, the jokes. And then someone, shit. When I get angry, I can't speak English. Because you might know the comedian I'm thinking of. But the bits were like, the whole of the laugh is we're laughing at. You're telling a story that happened in real life, and we're just laughing at the fact that someone actually did that in real life.
Sure.
And if it didn't happen, then I for me it doesn't belong in stand-up. It's another type of fiction. Or then you should start with, okay, picture this happening,
okay.
And if it still gets all the laughs, then go ahead and do it. But I guarantee you, and a lot of comedians would lose a lot of material if they actually thought this through. But yeah, that's what I mean. Like, I don't say anything. Everything happened like just as is. I cut out a lot of shit, and what I do is I mash people together.
Sure.
Like, there was a night where 4 people like combined did something. Like, we had a night with some friends, and 4 different people said or did like 2 extremely funny things, and it would be a really funny story. But I will make it into either 1 or 2 people, just for the fact that I would get to it faster. I would have less people to introduce. I wouldn't have, okay, these 4 guys now. There's the tall one. There's the I'm gonna give it to probably 1 or 2 person, and then it's like I get to the bit of it. And that's the editing I do, but I don't like then and then we were on the bus, and then he peed on people. Like if you saw it, if you happened to be there.
Yeah.
But if you didn't, then you didn't happen to be there.
Yeah, there's got to be some level of not fakeness in it, but there's something in stand-up which is like, this is real. I'm really telling you. And even when you fake it, like...
Yeah, like this really elaborate, like these people, like, and then my kid said that, and then my wife said that, and they were all making amazing elaborate puns, and then it came up to this, and then the bus driver said another thing. Like, no, it didn't. People, if you talk to the bus driver, he goes, and like, he's not gonna go, oh, the bus is driving like the country is running, hey! And I mean, if you really did, then sure. But usually, like, and you can. I think, I mean, there's obviously levels of comedy, but with an average comedian, I think I can tell pretty easily.
I think so. I think if you're making something up like that, you sort of almost have to. You don't have to say it, but hint it that this isn't real.
Yeah.
And in which case, you make it a bit larger than life, exaggerate some stuff, and people start catching on, which can also then be very funny and very good with the bit, like they've caught on that. Because I was just rewatching, do you remember David Deary?
Motherfucking David Deary.
Motherfucking David Deary. He's got the Greek coffee bit.
Never forget the motherfucking.
And the Greek coffee bit.
Yeah.
I have a video. I was going through my YouTube, like way back in my archive. Yeah. I have like a pretty good version of that from Manala with nice sound and like good quality video. And it's the best. I mean, it's all just about David meeting these Greek guys, and they're all crazy that he's never had a Greek coffee, and they're all like, you've never had a Greek coffee? What? And then all of a sudden they're all parading down the street. He's never had a Greek coffee. And there's elephants, and there's sirens, and the story just gets crazier and crazier. There could have been, and I love it. I'm watching it again.
And it's clearly made up, and it's fucking funny. But if you're selling it me at the point that this happened, and I'm laughing at the fact that holy shit, this actually happened, then it better fucking happen to you or someone really, really close. Because like I don't. The thing why I think people do it is because bits are easy. Oh no. Stories are easy to get out like in an average way, but bits are hard. Because I'm not going to say storytelling, like really good Louis C.K. storytelling is easy. No, there's so much fucking work, nuance, things in it. But as a micer, you know, to come out, and if you have a really funny story that actually happened, to get it out in 3 minutes, you will get some. At our mics are super friendly. You will get something. But doing an actual bit, going into the, hey, join me into the world of what if this was this and this wasn't this, it's way harder. And that's what I think you see in a lot of micers, like who start out doing their stories and they go really well, and then they start pushing everything into the same format. Okay, because this works, this is easy. Because the bus thing, someone taking their dick out in the bus when it actually happened, and an old lady yelled, you'll get a haha because he took his dick out. But now think of it as a bit to tell me like
and by bit we mean a shorter, more condensed version that might be just more set up punchline with tags, a bit more. Is that what? Tell me what you mean by bit.
I mean by story and bit is in this context is, did this happen? Or is this all make believe? Are you taking me like with this bus? Is this like, so I was on the bus, or is it picture you're on the bus and someone takes their dick out? This doesn't get a laugh, and it's way more work, and you gotta really think. What's the funny? I mean, this will work, and it wouldn't be that hard to kind of. But I'm not instantly thinking of like an angle. But there's for sure there you can go into an hour-long thing if you're that good on why the fact that he took it out is funny. But I think a lot of like starting out and shitty comedians. You know, the people who are doing Edinburgh Fringe for the 12th year, and they have a 3 o'clock show with no one showing up, and they try to tell you about comedy, and you're like, yeah, I'm not maybe gonna take
So
it.
in your definition there, you define a bit as sort of like, I've kind of written it, constructed it.
Yeah, I built the world.
And built that well. But then, okay, add an extra dimension to that. So stories, if people, like, they're listening, they're like, okay, I've got this story, it goes somewhere, there's maybe even a little bit of plot. That means there's some exposition, something happened, and someone else said something. That can, and then a bit, what you're talking about is basically that could happen, but you just made it all up.
Yeah,
You just said, hey, this is all. But then what about, because what I thought you went referencing first was a bit, was like not a coherent story, which is just, I've got a series of jokes, which I turn into a bit. I might stick a little bit of glue just to put the bit together, and that's still a good bit. You know, I'm riffed, I'm a comedian, and I have found every angle that is funny about the guy next door stealing my power. And I've got that angle, and it's not a story. It doesn't go somewhere, but I've thought of that punchline and that tag and that intersection.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
And that's kind of the same thing. We're just kind of losing shit in my shit English, but exactly that's the word you built. And in that, if you thought of everything, it will work. Think of a neighbor stealing your power and everything. What happens? I made my PlayStation game, and if you went through it, that's really funny. But if you come to me and say that, so I was playing a thing or whatever doing, and then it cut out because my neighbor was stealing my power, and you tell it as a story and it didn't happen, and I think, like, what I see is why people do it is because they either can't be bothered, or they just can't physically think of the ways to make the what if.
Because that's what you were trying to do. You're trying to say, what if I'm sitting at home playing my PlayStation and the power goes out?
Yeah.
And that may not exactly have happened to you, but maybe you've just been watching TV and the power went out. Maybe you're in the kitchen, you turned on too many appliances and the power, and you can at least relate to that enough to get it.
Yeah, and then you go into the bit, and the bit is the all kinds of things that now you have thought of. What could happen when he was stealing my power?
Right.
But what I don't really like hearing is that same thing being sold to me as, hey, this happened, and all the laughs we're getting out of is just the crazy. And then the neighbor, I look out the window, he's on top of the pole stealing. It's the kind of like the cheap laughs, maybe the thing, because everyone can do that. Everyone can do that, and as a comedian, you get really fucking specific about comedy, and I like these things, like you see everyone doing. You see, I went through it. Then the next generation of comedians, like Rogers, they went through it, and now we have now that they're going through it, it's kind of annoying to watch at some points. Because it's like, for me, it's so obvious, because I went through it personally. Yeah. Then I saw it with someone, it came super clear. Oh yeah, that's what happens when you try storytelling. At some point, you just try to kind of make shit up and sell it as a story, because it's super easy. Yeah. At Mökku, you will fucking get something. You will get something. But now that, like I see it for the third, for the fourth, whatever time,
generation.
It gets kind of annoying. But you have to remind yourself, like it's annoying cause I have the info. Like, I can't tell someone, like, hey, no, you can't, because you have to go. Like, I went through it naturally. You have to go through it naturally. But then again, if it's a micer, then it's kind of like, oh. But if, like, at Fringe, when you see the comedians like 10, 15, fucking 20 years in, and they're still there, then it's kind of this level of, it's sad, but it's also like, get up. There's people who actually want to do comedy. Like, go, let them do.
You're balding, you're fat, you don't really have jokes, you're here at Fringe for the 6th, 7th time at this festival, spending your own money.
Yeah, and it's all about kind of who you know.
Yeah, you're 40 or something like, and again, not like you can't get into comedy late, not like comedy's all about being a good-looking person or something like that, but you're just grinding at this mediocre level. Like, have you significantly risen in the last year? Now, again, not like we've always got to be an upward trajectory. Art is up and down, but bro, you're not really getting somewhere with this.
Yeah, and for me, like I've always had this kind of idea for myself, which later turned out to be pretty much what Mamba mentality is. If you know what Mamba mentality is, it's from Kobe Bryant. Like Kobe Bryant, why his death was such a big thing is his influence out of court. Like it's. You can go to, it can't be random, but you can easily find 100 people on top of their field of whatever, it's medicine, science, it's whatever business, and if you ask them why, they will say Mamba mentality, which is from Kobe Bryant. It's his thing, which is kind of looking at stuff, and I'm kind of paraphrasing, but I'm like, this is my thing, looking at stuff from like a personal growth thing.
Sure.
Every day a bit closer to your goal. It might never come, and you can't be angry at that, but you gotta look at if today I took one step closer to my thing, then I got better. And it actually really, really works, because like for me, like I try to live my life sort of like through comedy, or like towards comedy, in a sense that whatever I do, let's find the angles that are gonna actually help me get to my goal of being the fucking best in the world. So and I think that's kind of what a lot of people, I think that it wouldn't work for them, because if you're still there, I can't imagine that it's been 10 years, it's been 3,500 days of small incremental steps of personal growth. I really don't. I'm sure there is a lot of days where you didn't do something because you were lazy, you didn't push yourself, you didn't whatever, and this is the payoff, you know. Like we've been sort of taught that seniority or what's the fucking
experience.
word? Yeah, experience, like years mean something. No, years of meaningful work mean something. And let's say you look at people like Andrew Packer was a really good example of, I think, good mentality. He's been doing stand-up for 4 or 5 years, something. But if you look at him, if you saw him at Fringe, how he operates, and you see some of the older guys, he's out there, he's hustling, he's meeting people, he's getting drunk when it's the right time to get drunk, yes. Not just to sort of fuel your own alcoholism and to like what we discovered. The first summer tour was just drinking, and the comedy was shitty. And the second day of the second summer tour, I think, we had like a little blowout with the guys. We got drunk, we got super angry, we fucking yelled at each other. It came from like outside, someone said to someone in our group, like, you fucking bombed. Yeah. And we all kind of just, we didn't when someone bombs and you don't say anything, and someone bombed, and we all kind of bombed, but that's someone really specifically, and we didn't say anything. We all kind of, the shitty crowd, whatever people say, and from outside it came like, hey, like, you fucking died. And then we had no excuse, and we all kind of looked at each other and like, yeah, we all fucking died today. And then we got drunk and angry, and there was some pushing and shoving and shit. And after that, like, summer tour is the most efficient comedy thing we do. There's barely any drinking left, and it's all like every day is pretty much a workshop. 2 hours after every show is actually intense shit out. Oh, hey, did you hear my thing in that thing? And now we have a proper taping in the end. It's like, okay, we have 14 days to put together the best fucking set I can, and yeah, that's the difference. They're both super fun, but the first year of summer tour, didn't make me a better comedian. I did comedy, I spent time with comedians, but it didn't make me a better comedian in a sense that it could have been. Every day was a wasted opportunity. It was a half-drunk kind of show. Yeah, I did something, but I'm already here. You know, take the actual step for yourself. And yeah, but that's you should Google Mamba mentality.
I get the general idea. I mean, it sounds like some of the general philosophies that I would follow myself. I'm kind of into self-discipline and keeping on track and routines.
But I really think it works looking at this. Because my goal is to be the best comedian in the world. It's fucking absurd being from my language is spoken by a fucking million people. Doing this in a second. I mean, let's be honest, the third language, because I started learning Russian before I started learning English. My English is way better than Russian because I actually had practice. It's fucking absurd, but that doesn't mean that I can't, you know, looking at it just, okay, what can I do to get it? The answer is you can't. There's no okay, go there, do that. The only way to get it is the best comedian I can be, and hope that kind of is enough, right? That there's not someone else doing fucking more work. And because I know a lot of people are looking at Ari Matti and why he's so famous and I'm not, because he's doing the work.
He does that, yeah. To me, there's no question. Fair enough from the outside, but not only doing the work, but doing that specific work to get that specific position, let's say, not fame, like that specific position. He wants that, right? The different outcomes.
And I mean, and he has sacrificed for it in many ways. Like a lot of us wouldn't just go in a random place for a year just to do comedy. To kind of survive. So that's like, this is for Margus, because he's super angry at Ari for like, why is he get shows and I not? Because he's fucking killing. Anyway, you can cut it out.
There's something. No, it's fine. There's something different there with Margus as well. I mean, that's it.
There's more people, but that's like we've actually. I've talked to him as well about the, like, you can't be angry at other people for being successful, and even for furthermore, you definitely can't be angry at someone for their success if it's because they've done the work and you have not.
Sure.
And that's where it took a really long circle, but from the Edinburgh, the shitty comedian.
But I think that's part of that thing that we like somehow. And no doubt you're a big influence on that, is we've developed that culture in our group. And I think that it's probably extremely easy for that culture not to develop. There's going to be individuals, and that seems to happen in stand-up comedy. Maybe a group of comics, it's not necessarily limited to we're all in one country, you know, whatever. It could just be a group of guys who are always hanging out at, I don't know, the Edinburgh Stand or something, and Sloss happened to grow up there, and some other guys happened to grow up there, and just a few good like minds get together and push one another. That kind of this does happen in comedy when a group finds, because comedians are not renowned for working, because we're inherently not good at working with other people. That's why we're individualistic stand-up comedians. But sometimes it just happens, this really nice collective.
And we have this, like, with the core guys, and that's the thing for if there's any young comedians listening or watching. It's kind of the idea of how can I get in the core group. In that sense, you can't, cause what many people, what they mean about the core group is the 7 or 8 of us guys who've been doing this together pretty much from the beginning. Because I think I was the first, but I mean, Carl, Mikael, Dan were really close early, after me, and then Ardo, Rauno, they are super early, and okay, there's Ari who came a bit later, but he started comedy at pretty much the same time, and it's a group of fucking friends. It's sure. We do professional things, but our main like shit we talk about, it's rather personal, and it's still about comedy, because that's what we do and what we live. And I mean, I'm not saying that you can't get in it in the Comedy Estonia, you know, doing the shows, but like obviously people are getting Sügistour spots, that's all based on merit. But you know, it's just the group that has kind of grown together, and I think that fact is really pushing all the guys in that group together as well. So what I'm saying is to all the young comedians is you shouldn't really think about like, oh, how can I be Ari and Mikael's friend. I think it's really healthy to have a group of comedians from your generation who you have your tighter bond with, and who are kind of you grow together, and some of them are better than you. That's the push to, you know, push yourself. Like Ari coming to Estonia was a huge push for me, because I was getting fucking lazy, because you know, it's when you're better than everyone, then it's super easy to get lazy. But when you're not the best anymore, then you gotta fucking work to get your spot back, right? And he pushed me real hard, and pushed everyone. And that's the thing, like with you should have that, because when you just started out, you can't really have that relationship with Mika. Like, you can obviously be friends, but in that sense, he's way ahead of you. There's no comparison there. You're just hurting yourself. And for me, for us, it has really worked that we have this crew or group or whatever of guys. We kind of help each other out, you know, when you go somewhere and I don't know, hey, do you have another? Yeah, sure, I have another guy. Whatever. When we get a contact, then, you know, that's really funny at Fringe when one of us got a contact. That means all of us got a contact, because, you know, and I think because it started out as a speech for the younger ones. I think you should form that for yourself.
Like, I mean, we're hoping what Varskaveri is.
Yeah, for sure. Way. And it should definitely come naturally. Who you know, you have to like the people as well. Yeah. But it's not something that now we think you're good enough, and now you're in that group. No, we've been friends for 7 years. That's the
defining. I mean, Comedy Estonia is now quite a large group of people. And then when we say core, we mean, as you just described, the guys who've been there from the start, that first sort of 8 guys who'll be doing it for a while. But who is the close friends group can be separate from who is performing at the shows.
And I think I said that already. But
I'm trying to re-emphasize that point.
Yeah, for sure. That's what I'm trying to like, I think that's the thing people have mixed up. They think that being in that sort of being friends with those people is what gets you to shows. No, merit gets to shows. Like I fucking hate Klaus. He's a dickbag. But he's doing a lot of shows because he's funny.
Because he's funny, right? Yeah. Like if you're doing events, I
don't hate him, but you know, he annoys me so much. And he finds it funny, so he does it more and more, and he annoys the fuck out of me, but it will never affect the amount of shows he's doing, because that's all merit based. That's on how funny you are. And that's what I mean. People should focus on that, and, you know, find the people who have the same type of work ethic and watch the same things, talk about how you feel the same things, critique each other, get drunk and be super fucking honest about critiquing. Just don't say, oh, it was good. Say what was actually. And because I think like what you said, it's not in every scene, and I think for us it is the fact that we've been sort of, even though it's totally everyone's doing their own thing, but it's still it's been kind of together in a sense. Every new place we go, we kind of go, or at least some of us, you know. With my tour, I still have 3 of them with me, and we do these new places we've never been or whatever, and that's been really helpful, because I think just doing it alone, and looking everyone as a competitor, it would be way harder.
I think so. I think, in that case, the country has forced us into that. The situation has... And that's why I view... because I originally really wanted this idea of this Vaskaveri, right? To help encourage them to get the idea that they can do something on their own. But I'm also very determined that Vaskaveri does not turn into the B team. And doesn't turn into, if you didn't get a spot on the main tour, you get a spot on the B team Vaskaveri tour. That's not what I want it to be. Because I think that is, like you said, you made a comment that it has to be organic.
Yeah.
And I did, in some ways, artificially create Vaskaveri. It was me selecting, with all you guys, right? But still a selection process of you're on the show. But I want then that to now grow naturally. And to me, Vaskaveri should only exist if we need some comedians who need education. Not a like default, you didn't get on the main tour, well, here's the B team.
No, for sure. There's a few of them because what the name implies, and that's why it was kind of named such. It's the fresh blood.
Yeah, but if they then came to me and said, actually, 5 of us, we've decided we want to do our own tour, I'd be like, 2 thumbs up.
Yeah.
Cool.
Name these fuckers and
let's go right?
ahead.
If you then organically have decided this is it's not a B team, it's a separate, it's core number 2, whatever the fuck.
Let's find a space for it in the schedule, and you have your little tour, and exactly. And I mean another Vaskaveri is I think when we have another batch of these 6-7 people. And let's say someone from the last one maybe closing something, right? But for sure it's not like something we do again, because for them, and I think a lot of them, whenever now we get to do the sort of the main Sugis tour thing we do, I think a lot of them are gonna get good spots there. And now it's the thing, like okay, you do that, you do mics, keep your work up, you will get your minutes at the autumn tour, but obviously because there's a lot of us, and if there's 20 really good people, then it's gotta be some selection or someone doing some towns or whatever. But now's the thing, like what I've always talked about and what you've always talked about, what's your thing, right? What do you do? Because we provide some framework, but now are you working on your hour thing that takes some time? Let's put it together. Are you working some 15 thing with your friends? Because I think that's gotta be in comedy, the natural, like, and that's the other thing from the sort of people with the mentality I saw that I didn't really like, and I see why you're mediocre, is they're waiting for someone, like waiting for comedy. You know, the sort of the arrogance of, you think the world owes you something for being a comedian, even though it's totally vice versa. You owe the world for trying to take the easy way out, kind of. So, but you've seen the people, you know, like I do my comedy, like where's the people? I mean, obviously they don't give a shit, because if they give a shit, they're there and they buy tickets, and look at all the people selling tickets who have, I don't know, Kevin Hart, when he started touring, he got everyone's email and wrote back when he was back in town, come see me in that pub doing 15 and whatever, you know.
That's what you have to do,
yeah. And I think that's a really big part of comedy. There's some things you can get, and obviously in bigger scenes, you can get live at the Apollo, whatever, like really big things, but still, if you look at it, like the most the biggest comedians, what made them big is their thing, right? Because everything, like I think the comedy is sort of the word, the mics and the showcases, that's the training ground, that's where you work out your thing. Because I think comedy nights will always stay kind of niche. If you know what I mean, like Genialistide klubi and Vanemuine gets totally different people.
Sure, yeah.
Some people who they will never come to Genialistide klubi, and that's totally okay. You wanna see the finished product,
buy a nice theater seat. You gotta get the babysitter, the car parking,
the shiny bit of stand up, and then there's some people who wanna see the grimy bit of it. But I think you gotta think of what's sort of your, I wouldn't say way out of the setup comedy world, but what's your, because if you're just a dude who wants to show up and do the shows, then you're gonna stay at some level. And we've seen them all around the world. They do some shows, they do some showcase, they get some money, they have a day job. It's a really nice hobby. But if it's something you actually want to do for your livelihood professionally, the number one thing you want to do, then I think it is a lot about like, what is your thing, what can you create and invite people to, rather than what can you sort of earn from other people, you know.
And that might still be at a Comedy Estonia show.
Yeah, no.
To put my manager hat on, but the idea,
for sure.
Yeah, but the idea is like, what did you create? This time, I think, looking at positives about what can we make a positive out of the company, even though all the money's gone down the toilet, is that everything's going to be fine. For me personally, I have the chance to do the thing that I've wanted to do for years, which is I don't have to worry about any business bullshit, very limited amounts of that shit now. And all I can do, it's not stand-up, true, but why do you think I'm pumping out 3 to 4 podcasts a week? Yeah. I have my opportunity to just do my thing. And I knew it. I already knew that the number one thing I could do to help comedians is get them to professional level, meaning they just don't have to have a real day job, that they don't have to like really worry about the money, or if they've got a job, it's some mindless thing that they don't give a shit about. Like, you know, they're not that you're an accountant by day or some sort of really thought process person by day. Because I understood. I mean, I got it and I knew it, that they need to devote the time to the comedy. But wow, I'm learning fresh all again how important it is when you've just got all day to work on it. The free mind to work on it. You're not going from the office to the meeting and now I'm going to do the art from 7 till 10. Yes, you may have to do that. Yes, that's a stage in somebody's career. You got to hustle. You're not making money. Yeah, I'm not saying that. But at some level that you rise up to, eventually you take the leap off the cliff and you say, I'm not going to have a day job anymore and I'm going to try that the heavens bring me enough money to live and I can just do my art. And I'm like, how fucking powerful it is when I've just got all day to focus on my artistic output. And it's reaffirmed in me how important that is. And that way it's good for the company, that it reminds me again what it's like to do that I'm not getting... I was already trying to get away from running the business. I've talked about that a lot. But I've already had this like sneak preview now of what it's like to get away from that. And I'm like, I fucking love it. I love it. I mean, I love my business. I love my team. I love what we've built. I love making all that shit happen just as much as I did before. But goddamn, it's addictive and compelling. It's the kind of things you normally would have said, like, I don't have the time for it. I'm tired. I don't have the mental space for it.
But coming back to that point, like I definitely don't want to say that like it's a thing like come do some shows with us and then figure out your own thing. But it's definitely it should be a comedy. But what I mean is I don't think we want to do, and I don't think it benefits anyone doing shows which are, Comedy Estonia invites. It's rather Comedy Estonia presents, right? That's sort of the difference. It's because that's what a lot of like younger like micros feel like is we can do whatever, Comedy Estonia will pull people. Yeah, Comedy Estonia pulls some people, but no, it's Ari, Mikael and guys who pull people. That's why people come out. And that's what because if you're just expecting to get something you know, okay, I did my thing. I now give me my shows. Then that will not.
I think in that when you're developing an artist, and okay, like I mean, it'd be no good for me to just be like, hey, Micah, go fuck yourself. You think like that. You know, I've got to find some other way to show. And I often find showing people and finding the balance of letting someone fail just enough. Not that they get burnt too bad.
Yeah.
So that's why with, who is the young guys? Jakob, Carl, and Steven. Is that the three? The three amigos? Yeah. I mean, they haven't been doing comedy very long. At best, they probably got 10 minutes each or whatever, if they keep working on it. Very normal situation.
Yeah, and Kaur has hours because Kaur that's my guy. I fucking love that kid. And he's 14 and he doesn't give a fuck, and I love it. Because when I was afraid of everything. I wouldn't be on the stage talking about, hey, he's 14 and he doesn't give a fuck, and it's so amazing, and he's gonna be the best fucking comedian ever.
So for me with those guys, they've already got, we want to get together, maybe, you know, they'll have someone close or something.
Yeah. And
I'm like, cool. And they said, what is it? Is it Steven's working for some bar?
Yeah, something.
And they're going to open up a space that's going to have 60 people. Now, first thing I was like, usually we're like, no, we have enough spaces. But because Steven works for them, I'm like, okay, cool. We want to keep things in the family and support your business and your friends.
Yeah.
But even 60, and they got it. They weren't being arrogant, but they like, even 60 is a fuck ton of people.
Oh, yeah.
In the United Kingdom, you could go a couple of years before you performed to 60 people.
Yeah. And dying for 60 is fucking painful.
Right. So I was like, I'll do your 60. Okay. Because even, also there's the understanding that if those three get together and they hustle, they probably can get 60 people in the room. Once. This is not a maintainable thing. But I'm like, do it at Outskirts first. Just do that for me. Yeah. Do it there. We don't have to worry about nothing. We'll get 20 people in. Just run it once.
Yeah.
And what that did even in their mind is reset the level, because they were like, and not because they're arrogant, but they were like, 60, it's normal. We'll get people in the room. It happens.
Yeah,
and
but
I tried to reset.
Coming to mics, you would think it's easy.
You would think it's easy. And I'm trying to reset that and go, actually, 60 is an amazing achievement. You can pull it off. This is going to be don't dismiss this as like, the 60 people.
Yeah. No, I mean, my first hour, 5 years into comedy, with the first room was 40, right?
Where was that?
40 in Tallinn, Teoteater and Uusteater, the small 40-seater. My whole first tour plan when we started out was 2 shows of 40. One in Tallinn, one in Tartu. And then, we sold those in 20 minutes and put out more. But you can always put on more shows. Yeah. But it's really, you don't want to be the guy pushing the last 20 tickets on the day, because it will be sad. I think...
only if you've already sold like a whole bunch. And you try like, fuck it, I'll just put on a last show. We'll only do 50p.
If you're selling the last 20 of Nordea, then it's okay. But if you're selling the last 20 of fucking...
Teoteater.
then it's kind of, it's half your room, you know. Because I know, and I keep telling people, I know like this gradual growth, it's not that rewarding right away, but it fucking works, you know. Find your people, find your crowd, find a steady, like, I'm super happy that we haven't ever like super pushed my hour, like, okay, let's do all the media. We've done this sort of, okay, let's do 1,000 tickets more than last year. Let's find this actual pace of, okay, how many people actually want to see me, rather than how big of a fucking media spectacle we can put together to kind of trick people into. And to every young artist out there, I think the gradual growth, it takes time, and it's painful, and there's no instant gratification, because you can do a set at a mic and put it up, tape it and put it up on Facebook, and you will get a few likes, you will get a few haha comments. But actually, if it's your first year, then you just gotta fucking work that set and work, and you really don't need to put it up. You gotta find that instant gratification from somewhere else. Find a girlfriend who loves you, or whatever.
Get a dog.
or something in your life, so you wouldn't have to like need it from the, cause you know, doing something like this, there will be a lot of pain in it, a lot of disappointment, a lot of rejection, and I think you have to be okay with it. You have to look at it, yeah, this is a part of what I'm doing, rather than if I don't get an applause in 2 minutes, then, you know, and I think, yeah, that's a bit of the sort of the gradual, you know, let the crowd grow with you, let the people find you, because we have so many mics. You can do mics, you can do so much comedy, but yeah, you know, I think, and it's another rule, and it shouldn't be anything, but I think you should start do an hour when there's actually people asking, you know, hey, when's the whatever do in an hour?
Yeah, sure.
That means there's quite a lot of people who have seen you at mics, and they're, oh, there's something there. They remembered, they found you on social media, and now they actually come to a mic to see you as well. Like, let's say like Roger.
Yeah.
Like Roger, and I get it, like he's taking it slow, he wants to write and do a good thing, but he could probably...
I think we're getting there with this. I believe these plans are somehow in motion.
Yeah, but as I understand, like he's super deep in writing, and he just wants to, because he's been in kind of a lull with his material, and he just wants to get as I understand, he said he needs, you know, that sort of, it's okay, but you know, as a comedian, when you know, like, this will work, but I want to do, like, for me, I'm not hard about it, you know. And I love doing it. We all love doing sets when you're actually hard about your material. Sure. It's not like, how am I gonna survive with this shit? But it's like, oh, you don't.
Roger might actually be at a stage where you just spoke about that. You said, okay, look, yeah, probably if you're a young comedian, it's not time to do your hour. Like, probably if you just take a random selection of young comedians. But there's some level that, and then you said, well, if people are asking, maybe this is time to consider it. Then there's some other point that you can't progress anymore unless you do the hour.
For sure.
That the hour, then you have to get up to a certain level. And this is kind of where I think Roger's at, that he's up there, that he's got to make that jump, that leap off the thing. And he needs that. It's going to be hard and all those things that you spoke about, tough and a big leap, that now he needs that push to be like, he's going to make the hour, and that's going to make him a better comedian. But you've got to get...
And it's at the point where there's I can't put a number on it, but there's tens, maybe I will say hundreds of people, it might be 200 is hundreds as well, out there actually kind of waiting for a longer Roger thing. They've seen him they've seen him fucking kill, but they haven't seen him for an hour, and they're like, okay, I want to see him in a longer thing, and that's where you want to be. Like, and with but that's just my philosophy with all these things. Like, you want to have the people really interested, and, you know, rather sell out than be on the, hey, look at, I promise this will be good. Like this, that would be, I couldn't fucking sleep if I had to do that.
Look, it's tough. I mean, I think what we'll do is we'll wrap it up, because otherwise this topic we could probably go for another 2 hours on philosophy of, then, yes, that's fine for a few comedians, but then what if you're stuck in that level? Or
but let's end on the, it's all super what's the word, not objective, subjective. Yeah, exactly. Everything I'm saying is only from my point of view and has worked for me. And there's no one can, like, it was really funny, Ari did this workshop for some micers, and we both there, so kind of this really basic things to go over, and as I did, I realized, like, we do everything totally different, and we both would say that this is the right way to do it, and we both would have some merit to say that this is the way to do it. Sure. So yeah, there's like in anything else in life, there's no right and wrong.
And I think anyone learning any craft, any skill, no matter what it is, listen to all the wise elders but don't take the word of only one wise elder. This is the path, right? Listen to that.
Yeah, that's why I like when comedians like Micros ask me for advice, it's really hard for me because I don't want to give you advice because I don't want you to take it too seriously and then blame me for, but hey, Sander said to this, because this worked for me. So everyone, when someone asks me advice, like first 24, look, basically half the time, like I open and end on a really long this is really subjective. It's not truth. This is what happened with me. Take this information and relate it to your life and your ideas and your whatever, and see maybe this might be the truth for you.
Okay. So which they're not taking that like that at all, but you still feel like
for sure, and it's just a bit of I don't want to be responsible of that, because no one should fucking listen to me, but someone at a first mic, they have some wrong ideas and they think I'm someone super influential, and
Sander's super paranoid, in case you haven't picked this all up by now.
Because I want to be I'm paranoid about not being a nice person, because I want to be a nice person, because I've been taught to be like, basically it's the philosophy is don't make things shittier.
Okay.
Like you go to the woods to a barbecue, just take your shit with you. You don't have to clean the place up, you don't have to make it better, just don't make it shittier. And that's like a philosophy I have with everything, and that's why I'm paranoid about these things, because if you're really like young, like just started something, and some piece of advice might really stick with you, and I know it. If I sold my things, because I could tell the things in a way that this is the truth. Like I'd rather be on the side of the, like, I told you, there's no way you can come back to me and say, hey, I wasted 5 years of comedy because of you.
Okay.
I'm just making sure that no one can say I'm a dick, because I want to be a nice person.
All right. Let's wrap it up. Thank you. You're not a dick. It's all right.
Thanks.
It's all right. You're doing good.
It's been fun. Thank you for joining me in my sauna and
Daniel's bed. We're always recording on Daniel's bed, no matter where we are.
Yeah, this is Daniel's bed. Yeah, he wants to move in, but I won't let him yet. But we actually you can see it from the thing, but you can see the door. We didn't have a door here earlier, but we put one in. I just put it in just so the little masturbators sleeping here, like I wouldn't have to hear them.
All right, guys. Thanks very much. See you later.
See you.